everyone. You're listening to Alternative Revelations with Linda Emanuel. And today's podcast is number 34. And I'm going to do a podcast all about sulfur and how it is so important for your well-being. But before I get started, I have to use this disclaimer. I am not a doctor, nor am I a medical practitioner. Therefore, I cannot give medical advice. These podcasts are for informational purposes only. And with that said and done, I can begin the podcast. And before I get started, I have to give you one more warning. Sulfur thins the blood. It can also enhance prescriptions. So to be safe, before taking sulfur supplements, see a doctor for advice. So now I can really begin the podcast. And here we go. Sulfur is one of the most essential elements required for good health. And some of the benefits of sulfur are as follows. Sulfur has many important roles in the body. It is largely responsible for the mechanical strength and insolubility of the protein keratin found in the skin and hair. Disulfide bonds are a major component in holding joints and connective tissue together, making cartilage firm and resilient. And many people are deficient in sulfur, and it can be a major factor in joint pain, back pain, sore muscles, headaches, heartburn, cold sores, graying hair, gastrointestinal disorders, acne, just to name a few. And again, sulfur is an element and it is essential for all life. And again, sulfur deficiency leads to cell degeneration and disease or cancer. It also plays a role in oxygenation and detoxification of the cells. The human body is 4% sulfur if it is in perfect synchronicity, but does not store reserves or manufacture sulfur. And sulfur must be ingested because it is an essential mineral. Now, this is very interesting. According to sources, in the 1950s, the government began making farmers use chemical fertilizers. Now, this is very important to note. Man-made fertilizers inhibit sulfur from working in the body. Because of the use of man-made fertilizers, experts theorize that almost every person alive today is sulfur deficient. Further, with heavy coal mining and oil extraction from the soil and the burning of fossil fuels, sulfur is escaping into the air and joins with atmospheric moisture to form sulfuric acid, which is called acid rain. With all of this human activity, less and less sulfur is available to plants, which can only absorb or access sulfur through the root system, not through the air. Sulfur is also essential for plant growth, root formation, and protection against fungus and insects. Sulfur is added to man-made fertilizers, but this sulfur source is usually a byproduct of removing sulfur-containing contaminants from natural gas and petroleum. Now, sulfur deficiency is linked to chlorine and fluoride, which inhibits sulfur absorption in the body. Vitamins such as biotin and thiamine contain sulfur. Now I'm going to talk about a very important amino acid. It's called glutathione, and it is composed or made up of 3 amino acids, and it goes as follows. Glutathione can be manufactured in the body and contains the following 3 amino acids: methionine, cysteine, cysteine. And the following is a few of glutathione's functions in the human body. Glutathione directly neutralizes free radicals. This amino acid maintains antioxidants such as vitamin C and E in their reduced active form. Glutathione is used in DNA synthesis and repair, and it also participates in enzyme activation. And it is also used in protein synthesis and amino acid transport. And it's necessary for the cell's uptaking of oxygen. It also plays a vital role in iron metabolism. It also regulates the nitric oxide cycle. Now, as you can see, sulfur plays an important role in all functions of the human body, especially the brain. Now, studies have also shown that low levels of glutathione is related to cancer and disease. And of course, this makes perfect sense because if you do not have glutathione in your body, your cells cannot repair the DNA in the cell, and therefore causes degeneration. And if you remember from other podcasts, mycoplasma attack degenerative cells. And this makes perfect sense why cancer and disease are related to low levels of glutathione. Now back to the podcast. Now, plants that contain this important amino acid are as follows. And I also have to note that some of these vegetables contain the precursors to make glutathione, and they are as follows: broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Other foods that are high in glutathione are its precursors include asparagus, potatoes, peppers, carrots, avocados, spinach, squash, and melons. And most importantly, it is vital to ingest an organic, non-man-made form of sulfur. It is also important to buy sulfur in a crystalline state because powdered capsule sulfur are not the best choice. Now, another warning is this. China is one of the main suppliers of sulfur supplements, which are contaminated byproducts of natural gas and petroleum. So please beware. Even if you see Made in America, you might be buying a byproduct of natural gas and petroleum. Now, I do have a source to buy organic plant-based sulfur, and it is in crystalline form, and I do not make any money off this link. But if you're interested in making this link part of your website, they do have a referral program. Now, the following website produces organic plant-based sulfur product, which is in a crystalline state. And it's as follows, and I'm going to put the link also in the body of the description. It's www.h2o airwateramericas.com. I'll repeat it, www.h2o airwateramericas.com, and America has an S on it. So that wraps up sulfur, but I'm going to go over a little bit of the what inhibits it, and also some more symptoms just to remind you. What inhibits it is man-made fertilizer. It keeps it from working in the body. Also, if you drink fluoridated water, this also inhibits sulfur. Also, chlorine inhibits sulfur from working in the body. So this is an excuse to give up fluoridated water and start drinking filtered water. Now I'm going to go over the symptoms one more time, and I'm going to add a few. Signs and symptoms of a deficiency may include anemia, the buildup of acid in the body, frequent infections and symptoms caused by problems in the brain, including seizures, intellectual disability, and loss of concentration and coordination. And other signs of deficiency in sulfur is joint pain, back pain, sore muscles, headaches, heartburn, cold sores, gray hair, gastrointestinal disorders, acne, and these are just to name a few. So you can see how important the supplementation of sulfur is, but you have to also be very, very careful when you buy a sulfur product because, like I said before, China is the largest manufacturer, our supplier of the base sulfur, and this is all made from petroleum products, and this is not what you want. And I find that some people say they are allergic to sulfur, but in my opinion, if they can eat cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, and spinach and Brussels sprouts, they are not allergic to plant-based sulfur. What they are allergic to is China-made, man-made sulfur derived from petroleum. So my advice is, if you're going to buy a sulfur crystalline plant-based organic product, go to www.h2oairwateramericas.com. And one more final note is, if you're interested in rebuilding your joints, I did a podcast on diatomaceous earth, and this combination with the plant-based sulfur, it is the perfect way to rebuild your joints. Glutathione and the diatomaceous earth, that's what I used to rebuild my joints in my knees and avoided knee surgery. Now my next podcast is going to be about the pH and how important it is to maintain alkalinity and detox the body. And I'm wrapping up pretty much of the whole book. I've done 34 podcasts now. I probably have about 4 more, and then I'll just be reviewing things. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope it was educational. I hope all my podcasts are educational. And I hope it's all about knowledge and information and wise choices and how to protect yourself from cancer and disease, especially mycoplasma, which is the most common cause of cancer and disease. So until next time, good night and God bless.